I wear my heart on my sleeve and I just show people because I'm sure most clubs that I signed for, they didn't know who I was. And I'll be honest with you, it's like, who's this boy? Who's Adomah? When I first joined Barnet, they're probably thinking, who's this boy? And I had to sort of work hard, and then the supporters took by me. And that helps. You know, when you hear supporters sing your name, you just know that, yes, they know what you can do. And you just continue your hard work and you just get appreciated.
It's an absolute pleasure to welcome the legend, affectionately known as Unks, Albert Adomah, to the From the Club podcast. Albert, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Thank you. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. Albert, I saw one of your interviews in preparing for this that saying Adomah is a very British way of pronouncing your surname, isn't it? It's like Adomah, isn't it? Adomah.
Adoma.
Yeah,
But
amazing.
I know it is a British way of pronouncing it, Adoma. You know, so
Adomah,
I don't mind it. It's still the same, so it's fine.
yeah. Well, we are absolutely thrilled to have you with us, Unks. If we were to cover everything that you've achieved in your career, we would have needed to book you for a week today. And I know you're busy in your pre-season, so we're going to be focusing mainly on your time with Walsall. But before we do that, take us back to the very beginning. What was life like growing up as a kid?
Oh, life like growing as a kid. Well, as a child, I grew up. I was born in the UK. For those that don't know, I'm sure some of your viewers might know this already. I was born here in the UK, and I went back home. My mum sent me back home, Ghana, which is West Africa. I lived there for maybe 8 to 9 years, so from age 1 to 9. And then I came back to the UK to start primary school, to secondary school, and then college, then became a professional footballer at the end of it.
Yeah. And when you was at college, am I right in thinking you was learning to be a painter and decorator? Is that right?
Yes, I was doing painting and decorating where I done the course, passed the course, and I even done an apprenticeship as well. I actually went on site to work on new builds, old builds. So I was the finishing article. I was the one that was called in at the end to do all
Yeah.
the finishing touches, which was
All the
nice.
detail. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You got all the glory at the end.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I had the easiest part.
Yeah, yeah. So at what age did you start kicking the ball and when did you realize that you were really good?
What age? I mean, I started playing at the age of, I would say 14, 15, properly playing in the local park, playing men's football and also playing Sunday football and every football you can name of, like grassroots football. I was part of it, five-a-side tournaments, amateur league, amateur and combination league, semi-professional league, Sunday football, like I said, and street football. So yeah, I'll say from 14 to 15, that's when I knew that maybe one day, if I joined a team, then maybe I could progress from there.
Yeah, and you began your career in non-league with Harrow Borough. During those 2 years, did you believe it was only a matter of time before a league club came calling for you?
I mean, even with Harrow, I think I told this story before in the past. I actually went there for trials at the age of 18. So I went to the reserve team and they didn't even take a look at me because it was about maybe 80 players there trialing out. And they also had the reserve team on the side. So imagine 80 players trialing out. I was playing in goal, I was playing right back, I was playing every position apart from my position at the time. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the session, they just said, if you want to come back, just come back. And obviously, I went away for a week or two, and then I went to play at my local park. I met someone there, said, "Oh, I've got a team that you can go to." And believe it or not, he said Harrowborough. And I said, "Well, I just went there, but they didn't even take a looking at me." And they said, "Yeah, but this time if you go, I know the manager, the first team manager." But then he told the first team manager about my age, 18, and he said, try out for the under 18s because my birthday is a late one in December, so I was about to turn 19. But I could still go to the 18s. I went there for trials. The 18s took me on, played maybe about 10, 11 games, and strange things happened. Moved on to the reserve team. The same people that didn't really look at me. Now I'm with them just for 4 games, scored four, and then moved into the first team, and then that was it.
When you think about non-league, it's not normally flair players, and I mean you've got all of the tricks of a trade up your sleeve, haven't you? You could do tricks for days. How did that go down on the non-league scene? I mean, were you getting kicked about every single week, or were you all right with that?
Well, when I was in non-league, I started off as a striker. So when I joined the Harrowborough team, the youth team, the 18s, I started off as a striker. So I was just scoring goals. I just knew where the goal was. So score goals, through balls. I was quick. Went to the reserve team, same thing, just score goals. It wasn't even tricks. And then when I moved into the first team, because it was like the men's team, but at this level, this grassroots football, it's semi-professional, so people actually work. So there's doctors, there's plumbers, there's painters, there's every work of
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
trying to make it as a footballer, but it's more like the second sort of job in essence. Whereas me, I'm just a youngster just trying to do well in the first team and move on. So when I went into the first team now, they had four strikers, but the manager knew that I was fast enough. So he just had to find a position for me. So that's when I became a winger. So he put me on the wing where I can just run, cross the ball. And then obviously I was setting up goals. So that's where I became a winger, just known as a fast paced winger, step overs, knocking it and crossing. So I had to sort of not roles reverse, but now I was the one setting up goals instead of scoring
yeah,
goals,
yeah. How long was
which
it
was
before
very
you start?
strange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. How long was it before you started hearing that scouts were coming out to come and watch you?
I'll say in my maybe second season, because I was there for nearly 3 seasons. So my second season, I think that's when maybe my name was ringing bells. So no one heard about me. So probably thinking, who's this boy Adomah? So
Yeah,
I think my second season, and that's when I signed with an agent. So I didn't even know anything about football agents at that time because I'm
yeah,
19,
yeah,
about to turn 20. So I didn't even know anything. So when my manager said, look, there might be teams interested, or even a better team in that league might come for you, that's what I was just thinking. Maybe just go to one of the top teams in that same league, which was the Ryman's League at the time. I think 4 leagues below the conference or something like that.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
was just waiting. So when I signed a contract with my agent, that's when I knew that maybe scouts might be coming in and maybe scout you and then move on.
Mate, such an exciting story, Albert, isn't it? Your career is unbelievable. You've played in every division of English football. You obviously there's no one better to ask this question to. What do you think changes in the player as they move up the leagues? I mean, what sort of separates from somebody being a really good League Two player to being able to then get into the Championship or maybe even the Premier League?
I mean, like, even from grassroots football, I think the levels, it's just the intensity. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. If you can sort of adapt to the intensity level, I think any player should be able to play at whatever level. And I'm not just saying everyone just because I'm a footballer, but once you sort of establish yourself and you can sort of handle the level that you're at, when you move on to the next level, which I have experienced from maybe step 5 to League Two, it was too fast for me. But then once I started training with the League Two players, now I'm getting used to the speed. I'm getting used to the tempo. When I moved on to the championship, it was so fast that my first game, I done one dribble, I was out of breath. I'm thinking, what's
Yeah,
going on? It's more the adrenaline. And like I said, it's the tempo, the intensity. Once I started training with them, getting used to know them in pre-season and playing friendly games. After the third game, I was a championship player, so I could sort of do what I used to do in non-league. So I just do the same thing that I was doing, running with the ball down the wing and crossing it. And that's what I've been doing for God knows nearly 20 years. So I
yeah,
think with the levels, it's just the intensity, which is the
yeah,
difference. It's not even the player, it's the level, it's the intensity level
yeah.
of
Sure.
the game.
One
So
player who
anyone can
made a
sort of do it if you're professional.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one player who made a huge impact last season, who you played alongside with, was Nathan Lowe. As someone who's played on every level, like what you're speaking
Yeah.
about, how far do you think he can go in the game?
I think he's a future England player, Nathan Lowe. If I'm honest with you, I know it's a blessing that I've managed to play with someone like that in football terms. And I hope he has a brighter future ahead of him with obviously Stoke or wherever he will be next season. I'm sure he still score goals. He knows where the goals are. He done excellently well with Walsall, and hopefully I can only just wish him well, and I can just see that he's a future England star.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you hold the record for the most championship appearances by an outfield player, 525 games. Do you ever stop and take time to reflect on that? And if so, what highlights stand out for you over those games when you do?
I mean, with the history of the most appearances in the championship, I don't really take it in at this moment in time. I think when I retire, then maybe I can sort of share that story with my children or grandchildren. At the moment, I know people talk about it now and then. Most interviews that I do, they talk about it. I mean, it's a blessing that I've got that longevity that I was able to play at that level for a long time, and just staying injury free and playing games and also through hard work as well. It's not just I get selected and tick it off, but just
Yeah,
knowing that I need to perform to play the next game. And that was always my aim. Wherever club I'm at, I just try to play well in the next game,
yeah.
and that's my longevity.
But during that longevity, you've achieved promotion multiple times, including that dramatic playoff win with Villa in 2019. What are your standout memories from that season, Albert?
Oh, that standout season. I think it's just obviously promotion is always nice. My first one with Middlesbrough, I think will be the best one because it was their first one. And
Yeah,
also I managed to play two games in the Premiership before I actually joined Villa. So I think the first one is always a icing on the cake. And obviously the second one was nice as well. But I just knew that I wasn't going to be at the club, so that was the only downfall, knowing that you work so hard. But something deep down knows that you're not going to be there. It's a bit hard one to take, but that's football at the end of the day. But it was a blessing that I was part of the finals, semi-finals, and I was playing most of the games as well during the season. So I think my highlight is just winning games to get to the final at Wembley, and obviously beating Derby in the final. If in the finals was a great achievement for Villa, and now they've moved on ever since. So it's amazing. It was amazing
yeah,
times at Villa.
yeah. Across all the clubs that you've played for, one thing that's always consistent is you've always been a fan favourite. What's your secret behind that?
Being a fan favorite at every club that I've been, I think it's just working hard. I wear my heart on my sleeve and I just show people because I'm sure most clubs that I signed for, they didn't know who I was. And I'll be honest with you, it's like, who's this boy? Who's Adomah? When I first joined Barnet, they're probably thinking, who's this boy? And I had to sort of work hard and then the supporters took by me, and that helps. When you hear supporters sing your name, you just know that yes, they know what you can do, and you just continue your hard work, and you just get appreciated. And if you're working hard, I think it's there to be noticed. Same thing. Moved on to Bristol City, same thing. Supporters noticed my hard work. Moved on to Middlesbrough, same thing. Villa, same thing. Nottingham Forest, Cardiff, even on loan, Cardiff, same thing. And my boyhood club. And I think it's just everywhere I've been, Warsaw at the moment, because I still work my heart on my sleeve and just working hard so that they see, even if I have a bad game, you still see that I've worked my socks off. It's not just a bad game, take him off, or I still work hard. And that's my ethos in a way, part of my longevity. Just work hard. It doesn't matter whatever club you play at. Like I said, none of them knew about Adoma when I signed for them, till I start playing for them.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about the fans, fans are often labelled, aren't they, as the 12th man? I'm really interested whenever I speak to a player, like when you're actually playing, Albert, how much of effect do they really have on your game
Yes.
in a positive or a negative way? If people are like giving you stick in the crowd from your away fans, how much of an impact do they have?
I mean, with the fans, it always helps. It doesn't matter if you're home or away. They are called a 12th man for a reason because it sort of boosts the players like adrenaline. When your supporters are singing your name or shouting for you to sort of get their goal, especially if you're chasing or even if you're in the win, if you're leading, this sort of help when they're singing, chanting. So it's like, oh, they actually realize that we're actually trying to get a goal, or we're in the
Yeah,
leads and now they're singing for victory. So it sort of helps. I'm not going to lie to you. And sometimes as players, we notice when supporters are not actually with us. I know they are with us, but when it's quiet, you're thinking, how come their away supporters are singing louder than the home crowd? And we do notice things like that. It's not just the good things, like, oh, they're chanting because we're winning, but when it's going down, you think, oh, how come they're not shouting to lift the players up? But then they spend the money, so it's down to them if they shout or they don't want to shout. So it
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
works out both ways, but they are the 12 men in the crowd, and it does help when they do chant for us.
And talking about the opposition fans, what about like when they're giving you stick? I mean, you would have been to some away grounds before where the atmosphere would have been hostile. People would have been giving you lots of stick from the crowd. How can that affect you during a game?
I mean, as a player, if the away supporter are giving you stick, you just have to sort of take it in the chin. Obviously, if it's abusive, that's different, you know. Obviously, everyone can react in any way. It doesn't matter who you are. We're all human at the end of the day. But if it's an abuse, then it's like, come on, you're crossing the line. But when it's like a joke or banter, you could sort of just laugh it off, or maybe even just give them one back in a way, but obviously in a nicer way. Like I said, you can't just abuse someone because they're just shouting out abuse. But you can sort of obviously now you can report it to the ref and then they can deal with it. But for me, I don't mind. I just laugh it off, you know. Now, especially, they call me old when I'm playing, so I'm like, I just laugh it off. So it's just one of those ones.
There was that fantastic celebration last season, wasn't there, where you was pretending to have a walking stick after scoring a goal. That was
There you go. See, so the old man can still score, so that's fine.
well. Let's talk about where you are now, Walsall. Take us back to last summer. How did that move come about, Albert?
Last summer I just left my boyhood club, which was QPR, and where I'm based is in the Midlands. So I live in Birmingham. For those that don't know. So after I left QPR after 4 seasons, I thought it was just the right time to obviously settle at home now. I'm always away from the family, going back and forth, and obviously my little ones they're in year one and reception, so it's always nice to be home and taking them school, picking them up, going to activities, things like that I was missing, you know. So I just made a decision that, you know what, it's time to find a local club. You know, I can't just commute every time now. So and also came in. You know, I was actually trying to miss pre-season. You know, this is between me and you, by the way. I was actually trying to miss pre-season, but then the assistant manager called me, you know, Gary. So when you gave me that call, said, Albert, we heard that you're out of contract, you're looking for a local club. Do you want to come Warsaw? And at the time, I didn't really know where Warsaw is. I had to sort of check to see how far it was, you know. And obviously, when I checked the distance, it made sense. And I said, yeah, why not? I'll come the next day. So I actually went on Walsall on trial for like I say three training sessions, played two friendly games against Av Church and Aston Villa. And then after
Yeah.
I played against Aston Villa, then I got a contract after that, you know. So I actually went on trial. Trial is A, by the way, if people want to know.
This
And
is crazy.
obviously,
I heard about this when I was, preparing for today. I mean, the idea of having a try list is normally they're a
yeah,
secret and nobody knows who they are. How on earth did they keep you a secret again
yeah.
with the Aston Villa fans? How did that happen?
I mean, obviously the media team done really well. When they took pictures, they didn't really make it public. So obviously, I played the first game against Arv Church where people noticed, oh, Albert Dome is actually training with Warsaw, and then after that, then they sort of knew that it was me. By the way, even though when they mentioned Trialist A, they knew that it was me. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So my first game at the Biscuit was against Aston Villa. So they're all chanting my name. So I didn't
Yeah.
even know where the Warsaw supporters were. So I'm thinking, where's the Warsaw supporters? It's just all Aston Villa supporters singing my name, which was quite strange, you know. So
Yeah.
it was a nice gesture from the Villa supporters. Yeah,
Yeah, incredible. Well, if you could write a script, that would definitely be on there, Albert, wouldn't it? Playing against it. And of course, you're playing against them
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're playing against Deja Vu. We're playing against Villa tomorrow.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Well, last season felt like two halves, or even two different seasons, really. An unbelievable start where the team looked absolutely invincible, followed by that really tricky run of results. What was behind that brilliant first 5 months of the season?
I mean, everything went right for us. You know, you can pinpoint and say, well, teams weren't good enough, but at that time we were that good. We were the best team. And then I think at one stage it was actually I think Port Vale that was sort of running away with it. And then we caught them up. We overtook them and obviously that's when we got the distance with a gap, with like 12-point gap. And then after that, that's where everyone thought we should be promoted. I think around March time or something like that. And then unfortunately, once we lost against Cheltenham, once we drew against Cheltenham, that's when things started to go a bit slowly. You know, we just couldn't find a win. I think we just needed to win. I think 3 games, and it would have been all right. But we just couldn't. Every time we dropped points, Bradford won, or we dropped points. All the team, Doncaster, Portville, every team that was around us were winning games. Even when we drew, they won. When we lost, they won. When we win, they won. So which was very strange. And then when they overtook us, now when they lose, we couldn't win. So we couldn't take the advantage, which was a hard one to take in a way. So we tried our best, but it just
Yeah,
just wasn't happening, which was a shame, you know.
yeah, no,
It was just a contrast of victories and then we just couldn't win.
yeah. Well, as a
And
senior
we
pro,
left
I
it
mean,
to the last.
the last game, I know. I mean, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But before we
Yeah,
do, let me just quickly ask you because obviously, as a senior pro, you've there's not much in the game that you've not seen before and experienced, right? But I mean, so everyone's going to be
yeah,
looking to you for your experience. How do you kind of, as
yeah.
that senior pro in a dressing room, what kind of things are you saying to the boys during that sticky run to try and lift the spirits and you get them over the line, if you like?
I mean, it's a hard thing because when you look at it, even when you check the games, it wasn't even like lack of performance because we're all actually giving our best, like we're winning games, but somehow one team would just shoot from. I think we played against. I think it was Gillingham. We're winning 1-0 out of nowhere. This guy shoots from a ridiculous angle where you're thinking, "Why are you shooting from there?" And it ends up getting top bins. So now you're thinking, "Whoa, what's going on here?" Everything is just against us. So, and I think that's like the little small details where it's not like we just make a mistake and they score. There's just they have a chance, they score. And that was the difference now. And it was hard, but you can only encourage your teammates as a senior player. And that's what I could do because it wasn't physically performing. It was just more like a mental thing, just being switched on. Like even if the team get a set piece, they'll score, whereas before they wouldn't score. And you're thinking, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah,
And
right.
that was the little sort of it was more like a mental thing than, like I said, physical thing,
Yeah,
and
I remember.
it wasn't going our way.
I remember your first video interview that you done with the official Walsall YouTube channel when you first joined, and you was really excited about Connor Barrett being there because obviously, coming from non-league in the same footsteps as you've and how he's progressed into the first team. You've now got Courtney Clark, who's come from Eastbourne Borough down near where I live. I watched Courtney
Yeah,
last season at Eastbourne Borough. Fantastic season that he had there as well. How excited are
yeah.
you to be able to pass on your experience to these boys who are, you know, at the beginning of their career working through it and moving up from non-league as well?
I mean, like with Connor and Courtney, I think they both play for an academy. I think whereas Courtney played for Derby Academy, Connor's played for I think Leicester, I believe. But obviously they had to sort of drop down to sort of start their career again where I started from. I wasn't that fortunate to obviously play in an academy like them, but they sort of been there and sort of got let down, so they have to sort of prove themselves again. And Connor done extremely
Yeah,
well. His first season, the most assists in the league as a right wing back, very direct, powerful. And he done everything right. Even if I told him something, he was still doing something amazing. So wherever I said to him is just more his performance, how he performs. And the only thing I think I probably said to him is just you have to keep this level up.
yeah,
Because that's how good he was. He was excellent. And you can't really teach someone that's already doing well. You can sort of guide them, but he has to sort of keep that up now. He has to sort of reproduce that again. That's
yeah,
how good it was. And I told him that's what you have to do now. You have to be consistent. And I'm sure he can do that. And now we've got Courtney as well. Same sort of footpath with Connor. And I'm sure he might probably compete with Connor now. So he might get to see what Connor has done last season. And obviously this season is a fresh start for everyone. So hopefully if Courtney does get a chance, I'm sure he can express himself. And I said to him, look, whatever you done at whatever level, bring that here. Now you get used to the tempo, like I was saying, and just be yourself. Don't change anything. Whatever got you here, do it even better now. And that's
yeah,
it. So hopefully when he gets his chance, I'm sure he will express it for our supporters.
yeah. Amazing. You touched on it a few moments ago about the final day of the season. It looked like automatic promotion was on the cards right until the end, until Bradford's injury time goal changed everything. What
Oh,
as a player, Albert, like what's the mindset in a game like that? Are you kind of like keeping half an eye on what the scores and what's going on in the other games, or you completely focus on that game? What's kind of going through your mind in a situation like that?
I mean, it's hard because you want to know if they're doing well or not. Because I was on the bench and there's other players on the bench, and obviously supporters behind us saying, "Oh, it's 0-0, it's 0-0. Whoever scores now can get promotion. It's 0-0." And I think 60th minute or something like that, we scored, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, we're 1 foot," but we knew as players it wasn't in our hands because Bradford just, if they win, we know that's it. But then it's like we just sort of had the upper hand by going at 1-0. And then towards the end, I think we heard that they only got like maybe 5 minutes left towards the end in the Bradford game. And then out of nowhere, we just heard the stadium go quiet.
Right.
And I think someone shouted out, "Bradford scored." And then we just sort of knew that, well, that was it. And apparently that was like the last kick of the game as well.
Yeah.
So I guess we were just like 30 seconds away to League One. But that's the downfall. It wasn't in our hands. So
Yeah.
you can't really do nothing about that. You can't control the uncontrollable like that, So sometimes it's hard.
Yeah. Well, that result sent Walsall to the playoffs. Another trip to Wembley for you. What do you remember about the build up to the game?
I mean, every player was excited. Everyone couldn't wait to play at the national stadium. But it just one of those days where it doesn't matter. You could be the informed team or formed team. I think both teams obviously won the semi-finals. So even in the game, there was nothing in it, and it just looked like even watching from outside before I got on the pitch, it's like whoever scores first will sort of win it. And once they scored the first goal, it's like that's it. They'll just defend, and then we're trying to put pressure on them, and we just couldn't score. We had like a slight bit of chances, but it just didn't work out. They defended well, and they deserve it. It's a cup game, so on the day, it's whoever gets it wins it, I guess. And they got it. They got one on us, and I can only wish them well. As a sportsman, I can wish them well, and hopefully now we know. So now this is the other side to it. Now we know we have to do better than last season.
That's it, yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not going to go into detail. So there you go. So I'm sure everyone that's watching this will put two and two together now. So we know we have to do better than last season. So we can't finish certain places now. So we just know now. So now people might call it pressure, but it shouldn't be pressure. But we know we have to do better than last season.
In a way, I can only imagine from the outside that that build up the week before Wembley. Really, as a player, you probably just want to be laser focused on the game and be relaxed. But obviously, it's such a big occasion for the club. Everyone wants to be involved, and there's going to be lots of noise from the media, and everyone's going to be kind of, you know, wanting to get a piece of the action from the outside. Is that a little bit of a distraction? I mean, obviously, the club's doing the same thing, the other club's doing the same thing as well with Wimbledon, but can that be a distraction in some ways with like the build up for Wembley?
It's part of the job. It's part of the job because if it's wherever finals you are at or a big event, everyone's coverage, so it doesn't matter if the media want to interview you, you still got a job to perform. And like I said, it's just on the day. It's not about the informed team or formed team. It's just whoever scores and can defend well, which AFC did well. And I can't knock that away from them. Not that we didn't play well. Some people say, yeah, well, we didn't turn out, but that's football terms. But
Yeah,
it's whoever scored on that day, how the game was going will win, and they scored first and they were in control, and that was it. But there's no distraction before the games because everyone's psyched up for the game, but on that day it wasn't meant to be. And like I
yeah,
said, now we know we have to
yeah,
go one better.
yeah. After the season and such an incredible season, what did the gaffer say in the dressing room, and what was the overall feeling in that dressing room after at Wembley?
I mean, disappointment, that's the word I can use right now. Even the manager said it, because we worked so hard to get here. And the way we got there obviously wasn't the best way to get there, whereas teams will probably get into the playoffs, we sort of dropped into the playoffs. So we done the opposite. But in football terms, it's like people say, well, it's a failure, but every team is trying to get in the top six. So in a way, we done it, but it's just the way we done it was a bit strange. But it was a disappointment after the game, because everyone knew obviously the situation that we're in and we let it go, and that's the downfall. We actually let it go, and I can't shy away from it. So people might say we bottled it. That's the term in football. You can say that, but we let it go. So it was out of our hands once it got down to the final game, which was a shame. But now, like I said, we have to do better.
This season, exactly that, and all eyes now on this season. And of
There you
course,
go.
for Walsall fans, absolutely buzzing to hear that you've signed on for another year. Was that an easy decision for you to come to, Albert?
Oh, it was easy. It was easy, easy, as peasy. Like I said, I want to be closer to home. And once again, I have to say thank you to Warsaw because they're giving me that opportunity. Because when you get to my age right now, people say I should be retired or retired, but I'm still keeping fit. I'm still going, and I've got a manager that trusts me. I've got the staff that trust me, and the players know what I can do, and the supporters seen what I can do. So now, like I said, when I first came, because of my age, people thinking, "Oh, Adomah again, he's past it, play for big clubs." But once they see me playing, then I changed their mindset. So, like I said, I just have to keep working hard, and I've got that extra 1 year. And if I could stay at Warsaw forever, I'm not gonna lie to you, I will stay because it's closer to home, But I know I'm not gonna play forever. So hopefully I just have to do well again and then maybe we can come back again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you used the word disappointment to sort of sum up the emotions of last season. What would it mean to you, to go one step further this season and to get promoted with Walsall?
Like I said to you, I don't wanna obviously jump ahead of it, but we have to do better. Better than last season. We have to do better than last season. So there you go. And I'm sure when the players see this, they know what I mean by that. And I'm sure all the supporters watching this will know what I mean by this. We have to do better than last season.
Representing Ghana must have
Yeah,
been
go on then.
special, and you've played in both the African Cup of Nations and, of course, the World Cup. What were both of those experiences like?
I was, first and foremost, it was just amazing representing my national team in our motherland, that moment, even making my debut in England for my parents to come and watch it, my family, my friends, were just amazing. Growing up in Ghana, watching the national team play on telly at the time. Obviously, I was too young to go to the national park in Ghana. I remember my dad talking about players and everything. I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to play for this team one day. 'Cause I didn't even know that was the national team, if I'm honest with you, at that time. But my dad was saying, this player, this player, this player. I'm like, okay, I'd love to play for this team, and I guess that was Ghana at the time because my dad was telling me, he said, yeah, we wanted to be like this player. You wanted to be like, I'm like, no way. Yeah, you said it. And now you have achieved it. It was amazing. I was able to play in the African Cup of Nation in Africa. So obviously South Africa was amazing. And then the World Cup in Brazil. So, cause my debut, funny enough, was against Brazil,
Yeah.
you know, and to be able to play in the World Cup, in Brazil. I mean, I got to play one game in the World Cup, but it was still amazing against I think America at the time. So yeah, it was a great experience, and that's one obviously to tell to my children and grandchildren representing my national team was amazing, incredible.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Brazil. You famously pulled Ronaldinho's step over on the man himself. What do you remember about that, Unks?
Oh, I've got a picture there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a picture on my shelf there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know. Can you see? Oh, I don't think
I
you can see
can't
the
see it, but
picture.
I hope
Yeah,
it's
there's a picture
massive.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a picture there somewhere, So yeah, I done a step over against the step over king, that time, and I remember skipping past him, and then Lucas slid in to get the ball off me. I'm like, yes, but I was happy with that picture though. So yeah, playing against Brazil was amazing. Like I said, my debut, Ronaldinho, Marcelo, Pato, Neymar. That's the younger version of Neymar, 22, 21 at the time, I believe. Fred, all these Brazilians, and like, wow, superstars, so it was amazing feeling, just to be able to do that in front of my family was just incredible.
And you've got the picture to prove it forever, Unks, as well. Incredible, right? Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I do.
We,
Let me see if I can find this picture. Wait
yeah,
one
go
second.
on. Yeah.
There's a picture.
Yes, yes, yes,
There
yes.
we go.
Look
There
at
you
that.
go. There's what we see.
Look at that. You've put him off
Skills,
balance.
the
You can
skills
see it. Yeah.
master. You see
Did
that?
you did
You
did you say
see?
anything to him as you went past him?
Oh no. I just knew I skimmed past the Samba King, you know. So yeah, I'm like, yes, I got one on him. Obviously, I didn't know who took this picture, but when I got the picture, I'm like, oh my goodness, someone actually captured that moment when I done Ronaldinho, you know, the skills master. And
Yeah,
obviously, as a youngster, I think age 14, 15, when I was playing park football, I used to watch him on the Nike advert doing skills, try to imitate him as well. So for me to be able to grace the same pitch as him, I'm like, wow, you know, it's just amazing. I never thought I'll be playing on the same field as Ronaldinho.
yeah. Well, we've been speaking a little bit about the emotions of the game, and of course, as fans, we love watching goals be scored. But what's it actually like for you as a player when you score a goal, Anks? How do you kind of describe that feeling? What's going on for you at the time?
Well, if you're a striker, it's like relief because it's like it's your job done.
Yeah,
And I think that's the difference. Obviously, I've been a striker, like I said, so it's like you're there to score a goal. So as a striker, it's a relief. It's like, yes, now I can perform even better now because it gives you the lift. Once you score, you can have the worst game, but once you score, it sort of bring light to you in a way, like energy. You know, you just want to go again and try and get the next goal. Same whereas if you don't score, you'd be like, oh, it's the end of the world because
yeah,
that's your job. You want to show people that you can score. You know, any means to score. Like myself now, because I converted to a winger. If I don't assist, I'm like, oh. So now I celebrate my assist more than the goal because I'm there to create chances. So when I don't create, I'm like, oh, it's the worst game, but it could be my best game, but I still believe
yeah,
it's my worst game because I didn't create no chances, you know. So that's how you look at it as a player. And I'm sure most strikers will tell you the same thing. Just like a defender, they're there to defend, keep clean sheets. So if they concede, I'm like, oh, it's the end of the world. So I think everyone has a relief when they do their job, basically. It doesn't matter what position you're in, you
yeah.
know. So once you do your job, you know you've done yourself proud.
Talking of assists, there was a very, very cheeky assist that you done towards the end of the season. It might have even been the playoffs. What game was that where you? I was watching it on telly at home, and
Oh,
it was
don't start.
unbelievable.
I mean, everyone thought I was going to time waste. I think it was against Chesterfield
Yes,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
semi-second leg of the. Yeah, so everyone thought I was going to time waste. So obviously, I saw the opportunity, and I just thought, you know what, let me just seize this moment because it's tired minds on the pitch. So let me just sort of deceive them, take it to the corner, and they think that I'm just going to stay there and waste time. And I just saw that opportunity to sort of weave my way in and out because I knew they were tired because I just came on the pitch as well. So I sort of deceived the defenders, let's put it that way, you know, and
yeah,
obviously I got the assists and everyone's been talking about it. But the main thing is it was the end product for me. It wasn't even the skills. I got my assists, so I was happy with it, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, that's the key element for me, you know.
yeah, yeah. Incredible. You've played against some of the toughest defenders in English football. Who's been some of the hardest defenders you've played against so far?
You know, there's a contrast. You know, I played against the fastest player who had me in his pocket and the slowest player that I did not want to play against. So there was one where I think or was it Steve Kearney for Blackpool back in the day, Scottish left back. Steve Kearney, I think it's Steve Kearney, and then Carl Walker, the
Yeah,
fastest and the slowest left back. So because Carl Walker was playing right back for QPR at the time. I think I was at Middlesbrough because he was on loan from Tottenham. So they actually moved him to left back against me to obviously stop me from attacking. So that game was like literally I was just chasing him, chasing him, chasing him. You know, so he did I was actually defending against him, let's put it that way. Instead of him defending against me. So I had to sort of run up and down, run up and down. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
Steve Kearney, if I'm right, correct, he's the slowest guy. So every time I had the ball, I tried to knock it. I just couldn't knock it past him. Or if I tried to dribble, I dribble it out of play. So every time I'm like, oh, it's him again, it's him again. Till I had one over him one time where I got my assist. I'm like, finally, the curse is
yeah.
over, you know. And I'm not disrespecting him. Obviously,
Oh,
even played with
yeah,
Blackpool in the Premiership and everything. But for me, he was like the slowest, and I couldn't go past the slowest. Like I said, it's a contrast against him and Carl Walker,
yeah,
you know. So,
yeah, yeah,
and I couldn't go past him, man. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't go past the slowest left back I played
yeah.
against. You
Yeah,
know, well, I
wow.
think it was a mind thing. I was already defeated when I got on the pitch. Let's put it
Is it
that way.
because
I'm
he
like,
was
oh,
with?
it's him again.
Was he like really physical? Was that the reason? Like, was he? What?
No, it's just because she was slow. So when usually back in my day, when you're playing against a slow player, you knock it, get it on the other side,
Yeah,
cross it. So every time I tried to knock it, I knocked the ball to him. Or when I tried to dribble, I dribbled into him because I knew he was slow.
yeah, right, right,
But
right.
obviously he was doing a job. So he was doing a job on me because he was ready, he was prepared for me to knock the ball and everything. So that was the difference because I knew he was slow. So I'm trying to be cheeky, knock the ball. So I
Yeah,
overhit it out of
working.
play. I dribble into him till finally when the curse was done, if you want to call it curse, when I got my assist against him, I'm like, yes, finally, I got him. Well, I got him
We,
1 out of 5. Let's
yeah,
put it that
yeah.
way.
Well, you've just encouraged a lot of defenders who are slow, Albert, are going to be listening to this thinking, "Wow, I can actually, I'm not blessed with pace, but there's
There you
still,
go.
we've
Yeah,
spoken a
so,
little
so
bit about
there you go. So it doesn't matter
yeah,
if you're fast or slow.
yeah. We've spoken a little bit about the fans. You've played in some of the most heated local derbies. Which one goes down in memory as the most intense?
I think everyone would say, obviously, the City derby, Villa against the Blues. And I think everyone would say that because even when I played in that, the adrenaline, you're just getting like just weird sort of butterflies, thinking, oh, if I play rubbish, the supporters are going to be on your case because that's how
Yeah,
like passionate the
yeah,
bragging rights are, because I remember like when I first played the first one against the Blues, I'm like, what, I can't give the ball away because when Villa got into the championship, they didn't open the whole stadium. So even the capacity was, I think, 42,000 at the time or something like that. Nearly, yeah, about 45,000. But they only had like, I think, maybe 28, for the stadium. I think just to, I don't know if it's to do with something about safety or something. But then when we played against the derby, they opened the whole stadium. So now I'm thinking, wow, where did our supporters come from? So it's a full stadium just for this one game in the championship. I'm like, oh, I can't like play a bad game here because if I play a bad game, everyone's going to be talking about me. So
yeah,
I think that's one of the derbies that I'll never forget. And obviously, if you score in that derby as well, you're recognized as a court hero as well. So I think that sort of helps. So when I scored against them a few times, it's like, yes, that's me. I'm like,
yeah.
yes, I finally scored against one of the rivals. So I think that sort
Amazing.
of got me like a little bit of a, I don't know,
Yeah.
favorite or whatever you want to say. So I think it's a moment. One of the fierce rivals, I'll say.
Yeah, amazing. Such good stuff, mate. Well, we're going to take a really quick break before we come back and ask you there some memorabilia related questions.
Traveling to a restrictive country with internet censorship? If you want to access your country's websites and content you love securely, a VPN is the answer. With just a few clicks, NordVPN changes your virtual location. You can enjoy your favorite websites and services securely, as if you're home. Choose from over 5,000 servers in 60 countries and surf the internet with no restrictions.
Right, Albert, as you know, From the Club is all about official signed memorabilia, and you've been so kind. You've signed lots of those white cards that we've been sending your signed photos of on our website for Walsall, and you can get those on our website now. But here are some memorabilia related questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Yes, yes, yes. Let's
Okay.
go.
Have you ever asked anyone for their autograph before, and if so, who?
I'll ask. I mean, any celebrities or
Yeah,
footballers?
anyone.
National team footballers. Asamoah Gyan, striker. Sudi Montari, midfielder. Kojo Asamoah, left back for Juventus. Yeah, so national team players
Yeah, oh, mate,
when I
amazing.
first joined the national team.
Yeah, and in terms of memorabilia that you own, I remember you in another interview you said about I think you managed to get Neymar's shirt when you played against them. Is that true?
Yeah, so I got Neymar's shirt, Pato's shirts on my debut, but I gave Neymar's shirt away because my brother supported Chelsea. So I thought Neymar at the time was coming to Chelsea. So with this story, I kept Pato's shirt, gave Neymar's shirt to my brother, thinking if he gets to Chelsea, he can get his autograph. But guess who ended up going Chelsea?
That's a
So I'm stuck with Pato's shirt. So I need to find a way to get that Neymar shirt off my brother if he hasn't sold it yet.
what other
So I've got
memorabilia?
Neymar and Pato's shirt.
Yeah, amazing. What other memorabilia do you have that's really special to you, Unks?
I'll say QPR shirts.
Yeah,
So one game when I played against QPR, I think I managed to get maybe 9 players shirt after the game. So none of the players took my shirt, but I managed to get 9 of the first team player shirt because that's my boyhood club.
Yeah,
And I gave
amazing.
one shirt away. I got the rest with me.
Was one of those Charlie Austin?
Yes, I got Charlie Austin's shirt.
Yeah,
Definitely, I got it. I got it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
signed as
Amazing.
well.
Yeah, lovely. Very good. Last question. If you could have anyone's autograph, past or present, dead or alive, who would you have and why?
I have Zidane's Ronaldinho because them two were the two that I looked up to when I was younger, trying to do skills, trying to be elegant like Zidane, and obviously the skills was from Ronaldinho, skill master. So I say them two,
Yeah. Amazing. Well, Unks,
Ronaldinho and
mate.
Zidane.
Yeah, so well, they are two good autographs to have, Unks. Thank you so much for your time. Before we let you go, let everyone know how they can follow you on social media and also let us know any closing thoughts that you have.
On my social media handle on X, Insta, and TikTok is Unks37 if you haven't seen it. So NUCS 37. So Unks37. I do challenges on there. If people are interested, they're more than welcome to take part in the challenges. And I do unique skills for those that don't know. But this is off the pitch skills only. I know I get asked a lot of questions. Can you do this again? Can you? I could, but I don't want to take the mick out of my opponents. But these skills are especially done off the pitch. If you just want to show a skill to your friend or tricks to your friends, you're more than welcome to see some of my skills for fun. That's what I call it.
Yeah,
Skills
for
for
sure.
fun on my social media.
You're a great account to follow, Unks. I'm going to make sure that we've got in the description below. So wherever you're watching this, make sure that you look in the comments and you'll be able to see the links to Albert's social media accounts. Albert, thank you again for
Yeah.
your time. Really enjoyed it, and good luck against Aston Villa tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely time.
Now, thank you very much, Dave. Thanks for having me as well.
Thank you, mate.